When I used to hear people say that love is not enough, I used to be confused as to why that was. This is when I was younger. Love should have brought you home last night. You should have been with me. Why is love not enough? And I realize why it's not enough. Because motherfuckers ain't defining what love is. There's no full comprehension as to what love is. I realize that people aren't dedicated to comprehending anything really outside of careers. And here's the thing. I'm not knocking financial security. I'm not knocking security of any kind. Some people have this presumption that I have something against fucking riches, or I have something against material things. Look, man, all I'm saying is it's all about your individual tolerance, what matters to you, right? But there's clearly a cost that comes with people who just dedicate all their mental energy into climbing the ladder, because there's artificiality that comes along with that. There's a fakeness that comes along with that. There is an irreverence for love. And what I'm saying here is that love obviously matters to us. And so many people waste their fucking life with their significant other. For what? For what? Like, it's so my point is this. You don't have to waste time with somebody. And you can have a wonderful, healing, harmonious, I keep saying harmony, man, because it's all about harmony. What the fuck do you think first world civilization is? It's a collaboration. It's a collaboration. It is a dedication and commitment to civility and respect. Everyone falls short of it. They fall shorts. Everyone falls short, but it is still implicit in the social contract. All right. And so, love matters to us, but we don't define it. We don't try to really intellectualize it. Why? Oh, that's boring. Boring. Why intellectualize love? Let it be magical. Oh, this person is so beautiful. They're so handsome. Oh, and they're so nice. Love. There you go. Poof. Magic. That's what love is. You look good. You're nice. I love you. That's a little bit too simple. It's a little bit too adolescent. You need to upgrade your love to love 2.0. And what love 2.0 is understanding and defining love. Okay? Don't just have this ego, this hubris, this arrogance that we humans tend to have. That if we feel love, that's all we need. It will guide us in the right direction automatically. You need not think any further. You need not comprehend the ins and outs of it any further. If I ask you to define love right now, what does love mean to you? I bet you so many people, and it's understandable, so many people would be befuddled. So many people would be like, I think love is this. They'll quote the scripture from the Bible. And here's the thing. That scripture, love is kind, love is compassionate. That's great. But do you really comprehend that and contemplate that? Let me tell you how I define love. Let me tell you, I'm trying to get through this, man. Let me tell you how I define love. Love to me is simply a suitcase term. It's a word that houses all these virtues, these traits, these characteristics that we hold dear, that we find to facilitate harmony and to facilitate just social health. And it is compassion, it is patience, it is understanding. But each one of these things under love deserves full attention. Like having civility in a conversation. What's the point of being civil? What's the point of being civil with your loved one? Why? I feel angry. Fuck you. I don't need to be civil. I'm gonna let my feelings do the talking. Feelings alone, obviously, don't do shit. So many relationships crumble. So many misunderstandings occur because we're operating by feeling alone. I'm a big feeler. I feel so strongly, man. I feel every damn thing. I'm overly feeling-ishious. I'm overly sensitive. In all honesty, I'm overly passionate. But I have to be honest and understand that rhyme and reason, logic has a place in love. That's a bit too boring, but it's true. And so what I'm saying is that when you don't see the merit in applying logic and reasons to love, then you're probably, it's the blind leading the blind then. If you happen to have a very successful relationship that you find to be very, very healthy, I would argue that you're just lucky. To me, it's similar to people that are lucky genetically. Where, like, for instance, I used to eat like shit when I was young, but I always remained skinny. If I ate like shit now, I wouldn't remain skinny. Like I can just binge on I binged a couple of times, in my recent life, and I could tell that I am very susceptible to weight gain now. But when I was younger, I didn't have to worry about that. What's my point about this? What the fuck am I talking about? What I'm saying is that I could say that, yeah, I could say that when look at somebody who's younger and who's obese and stuff, and like, shame on them. They shouldn't, like, look how much they're eating. Nah, they need to stop that. Motherfucker, I can't say that. I was just lucky. Yeah, it is true that some people are more susceptible to weight gain. But I'm saying is that I can't be on my high horse about it. I was lucky that I didn't gain weight when I ate like shit. I would get sick and stuff, but I was lucky. And what I'm saying is that people who have successful relationships and people who, and they're not putting any effort into anything about it, I would argue that, yeah, great. You're just lucky. You may not have any obesity in your relationship. There may not be any difficulties and hardships, but I would argue that you're just fortunate. Okay? It's not that I don't think necessarily they consciously are making every effort to do this, every effort to do that. So don't assume that love is perfect and has an autopilot. We think, even if, I said this before, even if love is this perfect thing, we're not perfect as human beings. You're not a perfect creature. And love does not exist in you 24/7. I remember this movie called Dan in Real Life, and it starred Steve Carell. And I remember when I was younger, I saw it, and his daughter in the back of the car, there was this moment where she told him, she's like, Dad, love is an ability. And I remember thinking, when she told her, Steve Carell, love is an ability, I remember thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Love is an ability. But I see what she's talking about now. Love is an ability. Because at a certain point, the love goes, like the love self-generation, it's just not necessarily so much there anymore. You have to sort of just like my natural skinniness isn't there anymore. I have to, luckily I in my early 20s, I pursued healthy habits, and I dedicated, myself to eating a healthy diet, and I've stayed on that track. But certain things begin to deteriorate. And I would say that our natural love muscles, because life kicks your ass, because relationships kick your ass, and everything kicks your ass, I would argue that your love muscles begin to atrophy. And you have to try to do certain things to strengthen them. You have to sharpen that ability and reacquire that ability, because we often lose that ability. We take that ability for granted. And one of the ways you gain it back is by defining what the fuck love even is to you. And your definition of love might be different from my definition of love. And a lot of times it's a bunch of cliche things. Love is patient, love is kind, love is understanding, love is health, like love is this, love is that. Health is a huge thing for me. I think within love, to love yourself first and foremost is to eat right, and to do the four pillars of happiness: to sleep right, to eat right, to exercise right, and to talk right. And so I think all these things fall into the category of love. That's part of my definition of love, what I call the 4 pillars of happiness and whatnot. These pursuits, these exercises, these actions, that falls for me into the category of love. For you, you might be like, you eat Mars bars and Snickers and shit all day, and you're like, man, that has nothing to do with love to me. All right, fine. But at least define it and understand it, and draw a line in the sand. We think that love is automatic. No, you are the meaning maker. You decide what love is. And so many times in relationships, people are not on the same page at all when it comes to love. And especially our standard for love. We fall in love just because somebody looks good to us. They look good, I'm in love. They look good and they're nice, I'm in love. Well, yeah, what else they got? Like, other than they look good and that they're not, like, when does it, you have to, but it starts with yourself. And that's such an inconvenient fucking answer. That's such an inconvenient truth to me, that it starts with you. I don't know how the hell, I really don't know. So, wait, can I just say this? Alright, I'm gonna say this. I don't know how you can begin to understand somebody when you don't understand yourself. I constantly see people misunderstand other people because they don't, and And I see a common factor. The people, let me tell you this, the people that understand themselves, I feel like when they make assessment of other people, it's usually accurate. And the people that don't understand themselves, they're constantly just this fucking, grasping at straws, like making I think this person, I think they're like this because of this. I think they're like this. I'm like, you're so fucking wrong. You know what you're talking about. There's so many people that have no clue what the fuck I am or how I am or who I am. And it used to bother me so much. I'm like, yo, like, you don't understand yourself, so stop trying to act like you understand me. Because first of all, I can tell you exactly who I am, exactly what I'm about, exactly how I feel. And it's not because it's natural, it's not because it's so great, it's because I dedicate significant amounts of energy and time to doing so. But like, you need to have a grasp of stuff on an individual level first. And so Love 2.0, that's a part of it. And you know, it's loving yourself first. What does loving yourself mean? Again, treating yourself right. What does treating yourself right mean? Doing that which nourishes you. And what does nourishing yourself mean? Doing that which provides nourishment is eating food that has objective nutrients, factual nutrients in it. Eating shit stop eating shit that factually hurts you. Doing things like the sleep, the exercise, the eating right. And certain kind of, let me go to conversation. Usually, when two people love each other, there's these motherfuckers across the street in my part, they were arguing like crazy just last night, just flipping out on each other, one nuts. And I get that. I tell you what, the greatest amount of anger I've ever felt has been in a relationship. Why? Because when you love somebody very, very, very much, and then they're being difficult, it's like all of a sudden that love flips and your hate becomes proportionate to the intensity of your love. I get it. It sucks. So, but what's the remedy to that? The remedy is setting a fucking standard, saying, yo, we gotta be love is respectful, man. Love is civil. Love aspires to be. That's my definition. Love has every aspiration to build a bridge between you and the other. When you act like that doesn't matter, when you act like your feelings take precedent over logic and the patience and understanding and stuff, you're not being a loving person. You're being a child. You're being immature. A lot of people grow up, man. They grow up in the most kind of like career-oriented sense. And I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking pursuing financial security and financial stability. But I'm saying there's obviously in so many instances, so many cases, a trade-off. People put their everything into acquiring the material shit. And again, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying they do that. And then clearly all the other kind of social important things are sacrificed, and that gets put on the back burner. You're like, that will take care of itself. If I have the security, why waste your time, and why go through all that heartache, and why go through, a lot of people numb themselves too, by the way. And I was beginning to do this, and I had to realize, like, no, I'm not gonna let this world fucking make me numb, cause I was about to be defeated. But you become numb, and you let your love muscles atrophy because you're like, it's too much. Feeling love is too painful. Because every time I love, and every time I try to do this and try to do that, I'm just fucking slapped in the face. But no, fuck that, man. Because loving yourself is also, I think a part of love is a dedication to finding strength, your own individual sense of strength. And we often get our identities wrapped up into other people. Who we are is often dependent upon who we're around. But no, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. It can be dependent on who you actually are, and you can decide. But that takes you putting energy into yourself and being in silence and being fucking just a scuba diver into your own mind and soul, man. And then when you come out of that cave, when you come out of that fucking ocean of your heart and soul and mind, you can tell the world what you believe love to be. And if someone does not agree with your definition of love, then you don't need them to be in your fucking life. Don't need to be in your life then, man. You don't, look, I promise you, I know loneliness. I tell you what, I'm going to tell you something that I've learned. I love people and I need people, quote unquote. I'm saying, like, we're all wired for the most part, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like we're all wired to want to be around people. Well, we're social obviously we're social creatures, which is why you're on social media and shit. We are social creatures. But let me tell you a secret. You actually can be fulfilled without anybody. I'm not saying that this is the route that you should take. I'm saying that it's possible to feel fulfilled without anyone in your life. And that is both kind of sad and beautiful. And so, but it's reassuring to me. I want people should be a supplementation, but they shouldn't be the essential nutrient, because we place such a burden on others when we require them, when we need them to be our everything. And that's another fault of our love. The fault in our love is that we need someone to be our main and only source of happiness, our main and only source of fulfillment. No, there should be a supplementation, man. No, when you put people on such a high pedestal, the fall is that much greater. Nobody can live up. I mean, people rarely can live up to your expectations. People can rarely be this consistent form of entertainment to you, stimulation to you. You gotta find other sources of fulfillment, other sources of happiness, and it's out there. And this fucking privileged ass society, this first world country, despite all that's wrong with America, we have so many options, we have so many opportunities, but a big part of why we can't just hunker down and figure this out is because we're scared of figuring out. It takes a lot of energy. First of all, it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of honesty. And now all that honesty means, you know how many times I fucking cried and shit? You know how many times I'm just in the fetal position after like thinking about stuff like, oh my God, because there's so much, I mean, pondering death, pondering, just all the hardships of this world and my own weakness and my own cowardice, confronting your shortcomings, your flaws, and being honest about your failures and what you're doing wrong. That shit can like really, it can pull at your heartstrings. But what's dope about that is if you're doing it in a very wholehearted, pure way, on the other side of that comes this security. You know why? Because you then have a resolve. You have a resolve to be the person you want to be 100%. And when you know you want to be a loving person, and when you know first of all, when you have the security of defining what love means to you and setting that standard, and again, I strongly encourage you to incorporate health. I think health and love are synonymous. Please consider healthiness in every respect, mental health and physical health. Please consider this to be something that's highly important to you, because to me, inevitably, feelings of love come when you're healthy. Your body is going to naturally just feel a sense of love, usually. Maybe not. But I believe that to be the case. And when you figure out what love means to you, and when you set standards, and when you understand these things, and then when you become wholehearted, and the person you're with, or your friend, your significant other, when they're dedicated to being civil, to being understanding, yeah, you're still gonna argue, you're still gonna fight, you're still gonna fall short, but you have this anchor, you have this even if y'all you both deviate from being on the same page, there is this page that you both agree that you should be on. You both agree that you should be understanding, you should be respectful, you should be civil, you should be healthy, you should get your sleep. Y'all both should give each other space. Y'all both should do this. Y'all both should do that. When y'all see, even if you aren't on the same page at times, you can both agree that, hey, let's get back on this page. And I'm saying upgrade your love, man. Don't just think that, don't do that egotistical, hubristically thing. Hubristic, if that's a word. Don't do that thing that we do, man, where we just think that feeling is enough. I don't believe that feeling is enough. I believe feeling is an energy source. Feeling is a helper, but it is the marriage of feeling and logic. The feeling and intellectualization. Don't think that intellectualizing things. Let me tell you something. I'm not naturally intellectual. I pursued intellectuality because I knew that it would be a good asset. I knew that it would be a good lever. something to keep me strong and sane and guide me as a compass. So, like, if you're purely intellectual, maybe you need to do some things that will provide you with more feeling. If you're purely feeling, maybe you need to do some things that provide you with intellect. There needs to be that yin and yang of feeling and intellectuality, man. Don't think intellectuality is only for the fucking intellectuals, only for the people that that claim to be smart and all this, or academics and all that. And no, it's not for them. It's for everybody. And don't think feeling stuff is only for the artists, it's only for the musicians. No, it could be for everybody, man. You could have it all. And I guess that's what it comes down to for me. I'm greedy. I'm socially greedy. A lot of people are greedy materialistically. Cool. Because I can't knock them for that. Because I'm greedy, but I'm greedy when it comes to internal stuff. I want the full spectrum of humanity within me. And I feel like I do have that within me. And I'm very proud of myself and happy with myself. And I love myself very much. And I love you too. Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow go straight to my lover's heart for me. Oh, ooh, oh, ooh, oh, oh. All right, man.